The use of briquette in Kenya continues to be the in thing in conservation. The technology has not varied substantially except for the adaptation of locally available machinery and resources. Briquette containing pineapple produces a long, slow burn up to 2 hours for gradual cooking. It has proven very effective in developing nations plagued by unemployment, lack of access to basic fuel, and rapid deforestation, thus leading to the depletion of natural resources. Intrigued by the potential application of fuel briquette technology for processing organic waste in Kenya, we obtained a garden chipper and built a replica of the original hand press. Briquette dramatically reduces indoor air pollution, on the leading causes of 400,000 deaths from respiratory diseases that occur each year. The huge potential for briquette to continue to sustainable development, however, needs enabling policy support, which will allow local authorities to provide various types of assistance to bring about efficiencies and reduce risk for briquette producers. But to salvage its depleted forest to address the water crisis, Kenya needs to increase the use of alternatives to charcoal and firewood. But as the national and county governments step up efforts to protect forests, charcoal and firewood are becoming more expensive and harder to find. Costs to plant more trees are great, but the newly planted ones will take several years to mature. So, what cooking fuel should low-income earners, budget-constrained schools and small-scale business turn to?
The pineapple plant, after the fruit is harvested, usually does not have any other use for its leaves. So what we do is we then go and collect the dry leaves from the field, we bale them, and then we have them brought out here to our factory, which is the first stage of processing biomass, this biomass into biomass briquettes.
Okay, I've seen there are some people sorting out things behind us. What exactly are they doing?
Okay, so the people behind us are sorting out what can be used to make the biomass briquettes. As you know, it has been raining heavily, and one of the important things that we have to do to make sure that we make a quality briquette is that the material has to be dry and the moisture content has to be low. So what they're currently doing is trying to sort out the ones that are dry enough to be used to make biomass briquettes.
Okay, so after the sorting, what's next?
After the sorting out of what is dry and is able to be used to make our pineapple plant briquettes, we then take it to stage 2. Stage 2 is where the material is milled to a small particle size. The dirt is removed. Any foreign particles is removed from the material. And after stage 2 is when it now moves to stage 3, which is the making of briquettes.
Could we see stage 2?
Yes,
okay.
We can.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. So I will take you there.
Oh, this way? There are some of them which are growing.
Yes, because of the rain.
Oh.
You know, pineapple, if you just take a leaf and you put it in the soil, it grows. So this is stage 2, where the material goes into our mill, where it is milled into small particle sizes. As you can see, it goes through several stages of milling, removal of dirt, removal of foreign particles, And after it's been filtered, it then now goes into the main factory
So
where it is turned into
because
briquettes.
the people who are sorting come here, what happens here? Is there still the what exactly?
Okay, what happens here is the material then goes into, it is loaded into the tub grinder, and then it is milled. Yes, shortly you will see the material running in the tub grinder, and the milling process will begin.
Okay, so we have to make sure that you make it into smaller pieces for them to.
Yes, the particle size has to be small to make a good biomass briquette.
Okay, what are the contents exactly of making a nice briquette?
The qualities that are required to make a good briquette are the particle sizes have to be small. Obviously, the raw material has to be a good raw material to begin with. And then there has to be no dirt or soil, and at the same time, no other foreign particles that would dilute the quality of the briquette.
Because are these carbonated or non-carbonated?
That's a good question. The kind of briquettes that we make are the heated non-carbonized briquettes. The advantage of a heated non-carbonized briquette is that firstly, they can be mass produced, like in our case. The second thing is that they would actually burn longer because they have not gone through the carbonization process. So while in use, they do first carbonize and then burn, and therefore giving a much longer usable time for the briquette. Yes.
And reusing. This is more of the recycling materials and making a product out of it. What made you think of such kind of a noble idea?
Well, what made me think of doing this was that I saw a need. I saw a great need for an alternative fuel other than wood that is currently very predominantly used in our country. As you know, this has caused major deforestation. Our trees have been cut down, forest cover has been reduced, and I felt like there was a need for something different. And briquetting has been around for a long time. It has just not been well adopted and commercially done. And I thought that it would be good to provide this as an alternative that can be used by factories who have industrial boilers, can be used by schools and institutions for their big cooking institutional stoves, and can also be used by domestic users in their household cook stoves.
Household cook stove. How long is a briquette, or how big exactly is a briquette?
Well, the briquettes that we make, the diameter is about 75 millimeters in size. We also make another one which is 90 millimeters in size, but it can be cut down to smaller sizes just depending on who needs to use it and where they need to use it.
And how many can someone use, especially in a jiko? 2, 3? How many pieces?
You would probably find that you would need just one piece in a jiko. One piece that is less than a foot long. Once it is cut down into smaller pieces, it can be put in a jiko, and you will find that it will typically last almost 2 to 2.5 times longer than charcoal.
So for someone who is cooking it, he or she is sorted using the briquette.
Exactly. They will be able to cook and finish cooking, and then probably start to cook something else.
Okay, could we go on and see what happens?
Sure. So as you can see here, after the milling, there's a lot of filtering that goes on in here to just make sure that the particle sizes are correct, that there is no dirt and no foreign particles in the pineapple plant material before it becomes briquetted.
And how much of human labor do you need here?
We actually do not need too much human labor. Where you find that there is quite a bit of labor is in the field, where the collection is happening, the baling is happening, the raking is happening. Here at the factory, there is some labor in sorting the material out and then loading it into the first conveyor. Once it is loaded into the conveyor, the machines take over.
Okay, introducing something new in the market can be challenging.
Yes.
How is the product received in the market?
You know, we live in a good country where people are very accepting to learn and to try to use new things.
Okay.
So we've had a lot of curiosity. There are people who have adopted and taken up the product. We still need people to take it up even more. But the good thing is it has been very well received by the market.
Okay. And how can someone get these briquettes? Do you have, do they come in bales or?
We have, for retail consumers, we have started packaging. We actually have a brand. Our motto brand, Brickates, are available in 8 kg, 15 kg, and 20 kg packets. These will soon be found in some of our supermarkets, and we'll roll it out to more and more of the retail outlets.
Okay. And what of the price?
That is a big advantage of our briquettes. They are actually cheaper than charcoal.
Cheaper than charcoal.
Yes.
Okay. Of course, there are people who might. There's something you talk about, like we should not wait for someone to do something for us when you came, and I felt very touched about that. What made you say that?
Innovating and trying to do new things is something that I believe people should go out and do. It may always look difficult, but where there's a will, there's always a way. If you have a solution to a problem, you should do everything possible to make that solution happen. And if you do it hard enough and work at it long enough, people will be receptive, you will get the necessary financing that you need, and you'll actually be able to commercially produce it.
Okay.
So persistence pays.
Oh yes, oh yes. You talked of stage 1, stage 2. Now, could we go to the? Is it the final stage at stage 3?
There is a stage 3, which I'll take you and show you, and that is where the briquettes get made inside.
Okay. Let's do this.
Okay.